Hi guys, welcome back to Ang Tarot channel. And today we will continue doing a pick a card reading. Regards to the question, what's gonna happen with your school or your career from now to the end of 2019? So, as you know, like reach to the end of the year, it's like you have to reassure that all of your life goals, regards to the school or the career, have they been met, or is there any kind of challenges and you really want to be revised in order to save the performance of this year and also being a good foundation to start the next year also. So if you are in question about that and you want to avoid the risk of being uh, helpless and not know how to react in those kind of situations, well, here is the pick a card reading for you. So in front of me there are four piles, and to make it easier for you to choose, I have picked four of my earrings. uh, it's like from the left is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So for the first pile we have the feather earring. For the second pile we have the rainbow earring. For the third pile we have the moon earring. And for the last pile, which is the fourth one, we have the sun. So just freely take a moment, breathe deeply, and just choose what pile that call you the most. And if you really want to have a private reading about your specific situation and what you can do to have a better scenario or to get out of that challenging situation, don't feel hesitate to contact me with the information I provided in the description. And feel free to leave comments. I really like to read about your feedbacks and your supporting comments. It means a lot to me. So just close your eyes now. Remember the pictures of the four piles. Choose one and I will meet you in the timestamps below. Hello file number 1. So we will dig deep into find out for who chose this feather earring. So what is gonna happen with your school or your career from now to the end of 2019? So basically I have a lot of cards, but each of them meaning different, represent for different things that regards to the things that happen to you in your school or your career. So the first one is the main theme of what's gonna happen. We have the divine sun child, blessings of the sun falcon. So whatever happens to you, you always have Horus there to protect you, and I will go in depth with all full of the cards. It will support the meanings to the fullest. And for the type of people that can affect in this kind of situation is Harn the Hunter or the Chariot in the traditional tarot, the Corsair with his Knight of Spirals or Knight of Wands in the traditional tarot. And we have the best scenario that can happen if you are a little bit lucky, have a little bit blessings, or you react in the right way. The best scenario is Queen of Fire and Knight of Fire, which is Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands. For the worst scenario that can happen if you're not that lucky or you react in the wrong way and makes the situation somehow worse, it also depends on your personality. So here's the worst scenario, which is Four of Chalices or Four of Cups and Three of Wands. The lessons that you can learn no matter what the result from this event is Three of Pentacles and Justice. And the goddess that is in your support is Shakti. So let's dig into this. I see that you will have a chance or a challenge, depends on your point of view, but I just gonna say one simple sentence. This challenge may make or break you, because it's a huge chance for you to prove yourself that you are better than others, but it's also a test to see whether or not you are capable of dealing with this kind of situation. And if you make it, you can be highly appreciated in no matter in the school or in the workplace. But if you break it, you will hit hard. You hit very hard in the reality that you are still lack a lot of things, and there's still a lot of things for you to be complete in order to bring the better performance in the school or in the workplace. So divine sun child, why I say like that, because divine sun child is in order to be proved that you are worthy of the sun descendant or worthy of in a Horus supportive, you have to prove yourself first. There's no easy way like for the god or the goddesses to protect you if you keep doing the wrong things and you are not be faithful to yourself and you keep living in a delusion world. So in order to prove yourself, here's a chance for you to prove, or you can say it's a challenge. But I'm an optimist, so I always see that is the chance. Because in the end, of course, we always learn something. But let's talking about the people that you may deal with or can affect this kind of situation for you. We have the Chariot and the Knight of Wands. So the type of person that is affect to you in this kind of situation will make or break you is the type of person that is always push you to the limit, no matter what regards to push your performance, push your time. It's like make you work harder in a shorter period of time, but their intention is really want to see you prove. But of course, if it's in the unfair situation, for example, make you work extra hour without paying any salary, you have to raise up your voice. But in this kind is, I don't think that's unfair. I think that this is like a passive test that they want to see what you have to offer, and they are especially one of them. And if you like make this chance to be successfully, even this kind of situation can come to your boss ear, and he can like, or come to your teacher's ear, and he or she can like see you in a different light and even promote you if it's in a workplace, or it's like and or the teacher may compliment you in front of the class, or even invite you to the excellent team for the competition in the national kind of situation. So they will push you, but take that as an advantage or a disadvantage is up to you. So as I say, the best scenario, if you can make it, is Nine of Fire and Queen of Fire, which is Queen of Wands and Nine of Wands. As I say, there are a lot of responsibilities, there's a lot of tasks, there's a lot of burdens, there's a lot of heaviness. But if you overcome that, turn them into beautifully stars, just as in the graphic here, you are easily becoming the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands talking about, sorry for that, maybe I'm too excited for you. The Queen of Fire is talking about someone who has control in their hand, has control in her hands, and willingly to do everything in the most efficient way as possible. Use the resources in the most optimized way and remain calm when the situation is getting challenging. There's nothing gonna shiver her. There's nothing gonna be challenges her so bad that she's gonna quit. She's no quitter. But and now we come to the worst scenario. If you break it, it's the 4 of chalices and the 3 of wands. So basically, it's about you always gonna regret about this outcome. If you fail it, it's gotta be in your mind, obsess you. You may be obsessed about it for a long period of time, even uh, after 2019. This will bring the echo into your school or your work life in 2020. So, but my advice, my personal advice for this card is don't take that too seriously. Learn the lesson, which I will talk about later, and just keep moving on. Never stood in one place. If you stood in one place, that means you have already been slowed down while everybody is ahead of you. So you don't want to make it happen, right? And for the next card, which is the 3 of wands, is like, as I say, you will regret it, maybe obsessive with it, but then from that you will gather yourself together again, put yourself together again, and just try to be more careful, more open-minded, more aware of the risk that can happen. And the lessons learned from this is cooperation and do things right to the law. So maybe you are the lone wolf for a long time, or you don't have that much of the cooperative spirit in your team because maybe you don't work well with your team. But as you see, when you try to do something alone without any communication, I don't see any communication here. There's no sword card at all. There's no communication card at all. Maybe that's the one that you lack even in your personality. If you want to know more that you really lack of communication, just have a private reading with me. I guarantee I can dig deep into this kind of situation. So your lack of cooperation, or you can learn the new way of cooperation if you can make it. And the justice, sometimes when you miss out a law, it also can affect your whole performance. For example, for one time you tried to do, maybe I would have said, some black hat things, cheat if you're in school or in workplace. Maybe you tried to do something outsourcing without telling others, and that is violating the contract between the client and the agency. Whatever kind of situation that is involving in the law. So that, if that is like being burst out, it will affect for your whole authority and also your team's performance, also your individually performance. So no need to risk for it. Just stay in the law, do the right things, and gain the highest performance. We can learn from our mistakes. Don't take every prizes like that. Don't do the wrong things. So I will read the advice from Shakti, which is basically is the goddess that tells you to transformation. Change always good. If you have a good intention, change always good. Okay, right now your alignment task is to love that part of yourself that sabotages your efforts to move forward. Love the insecure you, the one that is jealous, the one that sees not enough when the world is truly full of potential. Life loves you. The feminine aspect of the universe, the great goddess herself, all of your angels and your guides and helpers remind you that you came here as a spiritual being learning to co-create in the world anew. So it's very obvious, as every card has to mention the same thing. You can learn the new way, or you can realize now that your lack of a cooperation between you and your team, or between you and your classmate, or even between you and the teacher. Maybe you don't like the teacher so much. That's why you ignore some of the important things that he or she told you to avoid. So transformation is good in this kind of situation. No matter you make or break it, just don't overly obsessive with your failures. Keep moving on and you'll be successful later. Maybe it's even a bigger successful than now. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Thank you for being here. And if you want to more in depth about this kind of situation, link in the description, and all the information you can contact me is there. But for now, see you later. Okay, welcome pal number 2 for who chose this rainbow earring. Here's a reading for you. So as you see, I have a lot of cards, but each of them has represented different meanings regards to the event that will occur from now to the end of 2019 regards to your school life or your work life. So here we are. The event will be Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. So maybe there's something gonna happen that can heal you, or you can be the healer that help the others. Let's see more details about this. I adjust my Okay, so now we're looking at the kind of people that can affect in this kind of situation is the kind of people who has 10 of spirals or 10 of wands in a traditional tarot, and the visionary or the knight of swords. And for the best scenario, if you are lucky and have like a little bit of blessings, or you like react rightly, because this is also based on your personalities. So the best scenario that can come up with this is 7 of fire and a 2 of earth, which is 7 of wands and a 2 of pentacles. And for the worst scenario, which is knight of wands and 10 of cups. Interesting. How can 10 of cups can be worst scenario? We'll find out. What you can learn by in this situation, no matter what the result, is the ace of cups and the page of pentacles. And the goddess that is in your support right now is Nike. This is gonna be interesting. As you know, Nike is not only before it became like the brand name of a very famous and popular sport brand. Nike is a goddess of victory. So we'll see. I think that there's a very good chance that you can be the healer of a group of people. Maybe if in class you are like the best student in the class, like highest performance, highest grades, always remain calm when there's exams. Ooh, I always want to be those kind of students, because I'm not. And or in the work life, in the workplace, maybe you are also like the team leader of a project, or just a very like organized, and you can easily connect people in the team to work to fulfill a specific goal. And in this case, you also have a chance to prove yourself, whether by something will happen that you will play a big role as a healer for the team. So the people that can influence this kind of event the most, as I say, is the 10 of spirals. This is actually Chiron, the 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 the, the centaur, who is the mentor of many famous heroes in the Greek mythology, but also died in vain, died in a very painful way. And Zeus had made had made him, because he's centaur, so basically he's immortal, so he has to suffer the pain and he cannot die. That is, so now you see immortal also a curse, because when you're in pain, there's nothing that can cure you, but you have to suffer it for life. And even you cannot die, sometimes die is also an escape from this kind of situation, but absolutely not in every kind of situation. So Zeus has made him dead and turned him into a stars in the sky. But as you know now, Zeus not existed anymore, so just don't think that death is every solution in everything. This is just a mythology. The mindset of the people in the ancient world is very different from now. So appreciate your life. And if you read about the Divine Comedy, Inferno of Dante Alighieri, if you commit suicide, you're gonna be in the seventh ring of hell. So no, don't take that risk. Anyway, back to the reading. Ten of Spirals. This person has suffered like Chiron. He's very smart, but it seems like he cannot cooperate with all the teams and he cannot organize. He's smart in the knowledge. He knows everything, but he cannot organize. He cannot do everything done in time. He always take too long. He does not know how to schedule. So he always has a burden in his shoulder, no matter what the task. And the visionary, Knight of Scrolls. So when this card being translated, it's like, as I say, this guy is very good in knowledge, but sometimes maybe kinda be falling into the category of talk the talk but cannot walk the walk. So this kind of people, when in a team, of course, with the amount of knowledge from them, they will contribute so much for the team, but they have someone who guide them and organize everything, basically to work the most efficient and finish everything on deadline. So those kind of people that I believe that you need to heal them, or you play a role as a healer in order to get them to work properly. So the best scenario is 7 of Fire and 2 of Earth. Yeah, it looks like that if you are healed them properly, your team will be like just leap it off. You see the how the unicorn try to leap it? Yeah, just leap the performance of the whole team up way ahead of others. And 7 of Fire or 7 of Wands also talking about a kind of situation where the characters in that card has everything like ready in the foundation already, and everything is enough for him to take the wings and fly. That's also a very good scenario. And 2 of Earth, maybe this is a little bit material, but maybe your team or you individually, I really see that is you individually, can be considered to be raised salary or can be considered to give a scholarship. So congratulations on this. But now we come to the worst scenario. If you cannot manage to pull it off, it's Knight of Wands and a Ten of Chalices. Ten of Chalices, when I shuffle the cards and it came out, it really surprised me because Ten of Chalices is a good tarot card. But yeah, when I try to combine the content of all the other cards with and connect the message with the Ten of Chalices, yes, I know in this in the worst scenario what it's gonna mean. So I'm gonna talk first about the Knight of Wands, which is you are on your own basically. Knight of Wands talking about someone who leaps forward regardless of anything else. It's like you cannot heal them and you may be in a negative eyes, you can see them as a burden and you just decided to work or do the project on your own. In this case, that is the worst scenario because it may break your kind of cooperation or friendship or colleagueship, whatever. Break your network also. So I will, because I ask the cards to represent the worst scenario in this pile, so that is the meaning that I can feel the most. And about the Ten of Chalices, is like it's talking about your own kind of happiness. Okay, you get what you want, but how about the others? There's no kind of cooperation here. There's no kind of shared responsibilities here. So everybody can see and can seem that you treat them very unfairly. Or if they don't think like that, you are the only one who gain all the credits, but you may lose them because they are they are still very in depth. They are still very in depth, and they feel that they are like the burden of the team and nothing is solved. So you are happy, but do they? That's a very good question. I This is the worst scenario in the case that I asked this pile, but if you consider that is also fine for you, if you can have the success alone and anybody else can be like in short term just be flipped out, is okay. But in this case, that is the worst scenario that can happen. And no matter the results, what you gonna learn from this is sympathy. You will see that the more you give, and of course it has to be the person that you trust for the best. If you can't even trust your team, if you can't even trust your classmates, of course the failure is the very obvious predicted future. It cannot read, it even does not need me to read the reading for you. And for the page of pentacles, you learn that consistency, temperance, and never give up kind of spirit is gonna pay off no matter what. If you fail, you also can learn a lot of experiences and you don't regret. If you are lazy, you will regret, trust me. And as I say, Nike is the goddess of victory. But I also want to read from the book for you for more specific message. Are you so determined to win right now that you are running like a racehorse with blinders on her eyes? Beware of unbridled ambition and the stringent need to win. You may have become influenced only by your wants and forget to ask yourself if your want is for the highest good. You see, as I told you, of course, if you try to separate out and work alone, you can have the credits all alone, but is it good to be an alone leader in this kind of situation? In my mind, no. So thank you, file number 2, for having a reading with me. This is a very high chance of giving you the kind of lesson or the kind of experience to empower your love in your heart. So please don't skip it. At the end of the day, of course, it's still upon your decision. I've just influenced you. Try to do the best thing to the world. So if you want more in depth about the situation, what risk you're gonna take, the specific details that may happen in the process of getting this, don't hesitate to contact me with all the information I provided in the description. But for now, bye bye. I see you later. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to the reading. For whoever chose the moon earrings right here, this is actually one of my most favorite earrings. So we will see what happened regards to your school or work life from now to the end of 2019. So I have a lot of cards here, but each of the cards represented different factors in your story. So here we are. First, this is the event card, the theme of what will happen to you. So, goddess of 10,000 names, Isis, endless emanations of the priestess. Maybe we're dealing with a Gemini now, multi-faces. Or also someone very flexible, but also came with that maybe you did not trust this person really well. Here we go. So the type of personality of the persons that can affect in this kind of event is 3 of Swords or the Hermit. The best scenario that came up through this kind of situation is Ace of Earth and 4 of Water. The worst scenario is 6 of Swords and King of Chalices. The lessons that you will learn, no matter what the result, is 5 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. And the goddess that is in your support right now is Ellen Patterns. So here we are. As I was saying, maybe you will deal with some kind of trust issues. I don't mean that you have trust issue, but you will deal with some kind of situation that test, that try to warn you about a person that you may not trust. Because look at the two cards that the personalities of the persons that can affect in this kind of event. It's a person who maybe try to stab in your back, because three of scrolls in the original tarot is three of swords, and the three swords stab in the heart. And the storyteller, which is the hermit. The hermit is the kind of person who is very mysterious, who's never gonna share themselves with anybody, and maybe by that they will like reach the highest of the manipulation mind, maybe the highest of knowledge, also maybe the highest of manipulation, and we really don't know anything about them. That's why there's also that also a very valuable valid reason that we cannot trust them also. So the best scenario that can happen in this kind of situation, if you are lucky or blessings, is Ace of Earth and Four of Water. I think that in this kind of best scenario, you will have some price to pay. That is because of this card, Four of Water. Four of Water talking about a situation where you keep on regretting the three cups. That is, or the three. If you see it clearly in the traditional tarot, is you regret the three cups that are already empty, and you ignore the full cup that is the heaven gives to you. In this card is you keep on stringing on the three smaller pearls, but with the big one you're still very indecisive about it because you're scared. So you will regret, maybe because you will lose this person. I think that the person who has the most intention to stab you, or the most potential to stab you in the back, is the person that is closest to you. Maybe your best friend if you're in class, or maybe your thought to be closest co-worker or closest colleagues. Those are the kind of person that can stab you in the back the most, because we are very unaware of them. So you may lost your connection with them, but it is a blessing in disguise. Stay far away from those toxic people. You can never imagine how much blessing is that kind of situation put you in, because you will be more attracted to the non-toxic personalities, and that will help your life to be a more optimistic views, and came up with the best scenarios ever. Being near with those kind of stabbers, you're never gonna know when will you die. Ace of Earth, you will learn the lesson, valuable ones, and just keep moving on, and start from that trust breaking things. You will try to reallocate your energy and your trust into the right kind of person. And for the worst scenario, I mean, if you continue to trust those person, or those persons successfully in harming you in some kind of way, you may be your authority may be affected very badly. You may be fired, because Six of Swords in this scenario is they try to convince you to come to the better land, but in fact it's not better at all. It may be better, but you are not willingly, you are being tricked to get out of the old land, not in your will. It's not a good thing. And Knight of Chalices, the worst scenario is maybe you even don't recognize that they are the toxic ones who make you lost your job or lost your authority in your class, and you still have sympathy for them, you still stick with them, and your emotion affects a lot. It's like, look at that man, and look at the photos that he has about this girl. It's like he's obsessed about her, he's still worried about her while she's very toxic. This is represent maybe your girlfriend in the workplace, your girlfriend in the classroom, or only your friend, not necessary to be your girlfriend. but you're still worried about them. Why they will destroy you from in to out? That is very bad. That is the worst scenario ever. And the worst thing is you don't even know that they did that to you. Moving on to the lesson that can be pulled out of this situation is Five of Wands and Ten of Pentacles. Fighting sometimes is good for you. When it is regards to your authority, fighting is good. And you have to have your own identity, your own authority, your own mindset, your own decision. You cannot let anyone to lure you like that and lost all of your free will to come from this land to the other land with being tricked. It has to be your decision, your own mindset, your own analysis. Why I have to leave this place, why I do that, why I do this. Not inspired by any person. And even this is the one that you don't know much about. So it's not a good thing. Ellen, the goddess has something to say to you in this kind of situation. And let me read it for you for more insight, and you can get the lesson as how you perceive. Familiar patterns show up when you fall asleep at the wheel of your life, or when you expect things to be a certain way out of habit. Whatever conditions are recurring for you right now, you are being invited to see them as an opportunity to move beyond the limits of your expected disappointment or habitual behavior. Maybe you always used to be the kind of person who gullible, trusts in other persons very easily. So Ellen here is telling you that pattern sometimes is good, of course. When you treat very faithfully, you trust your family, close friends, your boyfriend, maybe if you trust him enough. But sometimes it's not a case, especially in the kind of competitive kind of field like in your workplace or in your school. So just choose carefully your close ones and put trust on them. Don't put it on everyone. I hope you're doing well, Pile 3. I really do. And if you want to be more in depth, or if you see some kind of signs about this situation may happen, you can always contact me in the information I provided below in the description, and I will look more in depth to you. But for now, bye bye. I see you in the next reading. Hello, number 4. Welcome to your reading. For who of you who chose this sun earring, here's the reading for you. So as you see, I have a lot of cards here, but each of the cards represented the factor that can affect and can form your story regards to the question, what will come to you in your school or your work life from now to the end of 2019. So this is the card that represents the theme of the event will happen. Is Temple of Lapis Lazuli, Goddess of the Ancient Skies. So the kind of situation that can appear in this kind of situation is about royalty, honesty, empowerment, and knowledge, because that was the spiritual meaning of Lapis Lazuli stands for. So we will look inside, as here I have 2 cards for the personalities of the persons that will affect to this situation with you the most. Is 8 of Scrolls, which is 8 of Swords, and the Companion, which is King of Spirals. So with the King of Spirals or the Companion card, I believe that this is something really like cooperate well with you. And maybe he's the one who is maybe not so much intelligent, but he's willing to do the right things. And now we will look at the 2 cards that represent the best scenario if you are react very right to this situation, or you being lucky, you're being blessed. Is the Hierophant and Messenger of Water. So we in pile number 4, we really have a lot of cards regards to the spiritual world. We have Lapis Lazuli and the Hierophant already. We will look at the 2 cards that represent the worst scenario when you react very badly or you're not that lucky. So Judgment and 7 of Wands. So judgment also regards to the very universal act that you cannot control. And if you behave wrongly, the universe gonna hit you a very hard hit to make you wide awake from this situation. And there's no way that you cannot recognize the problem in this situation if you fail. So we'll look at the two cards that is represent the lessons that you can learn from this situation regards the result is Six of Pentacles and Two of Wands. And the goddess that is in your support right now is Saraswati, Mastery. Okay. I really see that in this situation there will be a situation that needs your hand to be stopped from. Maybe this kind of situation I see very clearly here. So this will be resonate very less of for who chose pile number 4 because it's very accurate. It's like no matter what in school or in the workplace, somebody will freak something up. For example, if it's in the workplace, somebody try to steal the money or allocate the budget very wrongly into kind of activities, or do something very wrong that can affect to the companies or the schools authority or the class authority, the department authority, and you are the one who has a very high chance to stop it. That person is maybe one of your best friend, or the person is in your team if you're in a workplace, and he has no idea what he did was wrong. It represented by the Eight of Scrolls, which is the Eight of Swords right here. He's, as I said, he's kind of a person who is not have so much knowledge, maybe not so much careful. He just do without thinking. That's why the best situation can occur from that kind of behavior. And if you're lucky, this is very spiritual. Like if you're a very sensitive person, you can see signs that is maybe point to, oh, maybe this is wrong, you have to look at it. But if you are not sensitive to catch up the signs, you may not stop it on time. There will be some kind of loss in here, maybe loss of money, loss of performance. You see this chart is going down. If you stop it right, maybe you also can talk very sympathetic with the other person, and it's also help them to recognize what they did was wrong and make them better in the future, because they already experienced this situation and they know someone will say to them, and it's you, that is wrong. You will teach them again, you will guide them again, and they will feel more confident and of course not gonna make the same mistakes again. The lessons that we can learn from this is, as I say, allocating budget is very important, and sometimes something is being missed out of your eyes. You have to look more carefully. Someone maybe did something behind you that you have no idea, maybe spend all your money like this, trick from your money, or even without any bad intention, they also accidentally give away your resources accidentally, and it may cost you. And Two of Wands, slow is in some situations, slow is for the better result. Fast but not careful maybe result in a very bad kind of scenario. I'm sorry, my voice is kind of lost. I will try to speak loudly for more. So, your goddess Saraswati has something to say with you. Let's see what she's gonna advise you. The goddess Saraswati reminds you that there are no shortcuts on the journey, and partial knowledge does not make you a master. It's true. You see, if that person tries to go shortcut, he or she will accidentally burn the money, burn your resources, burn energy, and even burn time, even burn the authority of the class or the company. So if you want to be a master, you want the best performance, you gotta be slow down, careful, patient, and being very in details about everything. So that is the message for you, power number 4. I hope you will be okay after this. And if you want to be more in depth about this situation, what will gonna happen in the specific term, don't feel hesitate to contact me in the information that I have given in the description below. But for now, bye bye. I see you in the next reading.